the typical transaction routing is two things are happening simultaneously, not very clear. On the US side, there is a victim who has been roped into a romance, fake romance, usually online, and have been convinced to put money or to bring money to send money to their paramour. Well, these fraudsters are not stupid. They're criminals, for crying out loud. So they ask these people to put that money into another bank account, a bank account that's not owned by the criminal. A US bank account, say Bank of America. Go put $5,000 into this person's account. Don't worry, that person will give it to me. Of course, after this person has finished $5,000 today, $10,000 tomorrow, after $50,000, and their love interest is not coming to the US or suddenly stops taking their calls, they go to the bank, they go to the FBI, and the funds are frozen, or the account is frozen, and action is brought against the account holder. That's the US side. Now, on the Nigerian side, and the hard part to see is that Nigerians do not have the ability to go to their central bank or to their local bank and get dollars. Nigerians do most of their expenditure in dollars. Nigeria might as well, on some levels, it's a very dollarized economy. Bottom line is dollars are very, very popular in Nigeria. Nigerians take vacations in the US. They send their children to education in the US. They buy a lot of American stuff. American culture is very popular. So dollars are very well needed. So you have Nigerians who have a lot of local naira, can't find dollars because the banks don't even give it. The central bank's policy for getting dollars, you might as well pass through a needle's eye. It's not going to happen. So what they do is they call up diasporans, okay? And they say, hey, I've got X amount of naira. Could I exchange it for X amount of dollar? Do you need naira? Because I need dollar. I'm in Nigeria. I have a bunch of naira. I need to send my kids tuition, but I need to send it in dollar. You are diasporan. You work and earn in dollars. Can you pay $5,000 towards my child's education? And then the naira that I have, do you have a project you're working on in Nigeria? You building a house? Are you buying land? Are you taking care of grandma? I'll give that to grandma. That's how currency is purchased. This is off the books. This is parallel market transactions because there's no regular market. All legit. A strike price is agreed. We're going to exchange 100 naira for $1. Fine. We send an email. We send a WhatsApp. The dollar moves to my kid's school. My kid's school confirms that they got the money. And I move the naira to your account. Everyone is happy. The problem is that when the Nigerians, in their desperation to pay their tuition, these are the legitimate Nigerians, they don't always know how that money got to their kid's school. On the US side, the person who's giving them the dollars, and this is what I always see, he has $4,500 of his money. But guess what? The need is $5,000. So he calls a friend, who calls a friend, who calls a friend. And in that loop, a bad guy comes in, supplies a 500, 4,500 hits the account as good money, 500 comes in as bad money. That 500 becomes what gets the FBI's attention. It is victim's money. The FBI calls the bank shuts the whole account, not for the 500, but for the whole 5,000, closes the account, and the Nigerian innocent person who was simply trying to pay tuition and who paid full value for that transaction, what we call a bona fide purchaser for value, is now potentially facing civil and criminal liability, even though they themselves are now victims because they've lost the 5,000 in the US. Sometimes that money never got to their kids' school. It got paid into their account. They got paid to your kids' school, and the FBI froze it. But they've also lost the naira in Nigeria, so they're out two ways. They're victims in every sense of the word, and now they're facing legal jeopardy. So that's typically who calls me and says, please go tell the FBI that it's my account. I've operated it for 15 years with no problems. I bought what I thought were legitimate dollars. I had no way of knowing it was criminal funds. And think about it this way. If I was really a money launderer and a criminal, would I ask for bad funds to be paid into my US bank account, which is traceable to me as closely as my fingerprint is?